I now recognize myself for questioning. Mr. DeJoy, we have all been flooded with concerns and complaints from our constituents about the delay in the mail. And in the vote on my bill, Delivering for America, on Saturday, 26 Republicans voted with us, and they expressed the same concerns. People depend on their mail for their medications, for business, for keeping in touch with their families. It's critically important. And we've seen headlines across this nation from many, many states, headlines, major news from our states about the delay in the mail. It's been said it's a major institution in our country. People depend on it. And over the weekend, we obtained this internal document, and it is dated less than 2 weeks ago on August 12th. And it's entitled Service Performance Measurement for the PMG, Postmaster General Briefing. Now, your office already confirmed to my office that this document is authentic. So let's go through a little bit of it now. This document clearly shows major degradations across the board, beginning in July when you started your changes. Here is the document for first-class mail, and overall, it is down an astonishing 8.1% from the baseline before your changes for the past 2 months, beginning in July. Now, the second one, the next slide, is the marketing mail, and that is down a stunning 8.42%. Now, the next, and it's on the wall where you can see it better, the next periodicals, and that is down almost 10%, down 9.57%. So, Mr. DeJoy, you and your aides have repeatedly downplayed these delays. You just downplayed it in your testimony. But this is just a disaster for the people who need their mail. Don't you agree? Would you turn on your mic? We can't hear you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
We are very concerned with the deterioration in service and are working very diligently. In fact, we're seeing a big recovery this week, and in fact, that report, oddly, I requested that report be put together. Oddly enough, we didn't have measurement briefings at an executive level like this before my arrival, where the whole executive team was involved in looking at what the underlying circumstances were, and we're focused on fixing it. We're starting to see a nice recovery, and we will have it back to, my goal is to get it, to a higher level. We were not meeting metrics before. With this change, this fundamental change, we have a real good shot at getting to the stated metrics that we are supposedly governed by.
Well, you just testified that you've been on the job 70 days. Mm-hmm. So this is essentially your report card for that period of time. If any other CEO had this kind of plummeting record in his first 2 months on the job, I can't imagine why he would be kept on.
That's an unfair accusation.
May I continue? When you testified on Friday, mm-hmm. Senators asked you over and over about the status of these delays. They also asked you to produce analysis about the negative impacts of your changes. It would have been easy to mention to the senators that this document existed. You could have said, as a matter of fact, Senator, I just received a detailed briefing, and unfortunately, the data shows major delays in nearly all categories. But you didn't do that. You dismiss these nationwide delays as, quote, a dip, and you refuse to turn over any analysis. So my question is, why didn't you disclose this document and any analysis to the Senate when you had it and they were asking for it?
They asked me for it on Friday. They asked me for an analysis on my decision.
Of the delays. I watched the testimony. They wanted analysis. Why are all these delays?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for delays besides just the action that I took to run your trucks on time. There are other reasons for the delays in the nation.
Well, I would say running trucks on time would probably increase delivery, but for some reason it backed it up 5 to 6
Oddly
days
enough,
into
yes.
the district that I represent, so reported. But Mr. DeJoy, on August 14th, this committee sent you a 10-page letter, along with the chairs of ranking members of 3 other committees. And we asked you to produce all communications, and I'm quoting from the letter, all communications, evaluations, assessments, or reports regarding mail left behind or delayed as a result of these new policies that you instituted, end quote. We asked for these documents by Friday, and on Friday night, you did produce some documents to us, but you did not produce this one. And so my question is, why did you leave this important internal document from the postal professionals that was delivered to you and briefed to you 2 days before the Senate hearing? Why did you leave it out?
I'm not familiar with the request in total or how we supported it. I'm sure the staff answered the questions as they were asked. And let me just, for the record, clear up. That is not a policy change. That is a request that we run our 40,000 trucks a day on schedule. And your intuition is right? You would think that the mail moved faster, and it did. A good portion of it moved faster. All right, and we've also, I was sitting there looking at a report that talked somewhere between $1 billion and $3 billion worth of cost wasted on our truck trips being out of schedule. It was an easy request that I spoke with every senior executive in the organization about the change.
Time is limited, and I'm concerned why we didn't receive any of this information. And I have to just say that, Mr. DeJoy, we sent our letter 2 days after you received this briefing and this document. It must have been fresh on your mind. There's absolutely no excuse for concealing it and withholding this information from the committee or from your testimony before the Senate when you were expressly asked questions about the information in the document. And unfortunately, this committee received it from someone else. So, Mr. DeJoy, you're withholding information from us, concealing documents, and downplaying the damage that you're causing. So let me close with this. This committee expects a full and complete production of all the documents we requested no later than this coming Wednesday. And if you continue to withhold information or otherwise fail to comply, you can expect a subpoena. Now, I know many of our members plan to ask about how you intend to fix the problems you created, and reverse these horrible trend lines. So we will get to those questions next.